Pretty amazing how much Waterville does.
You already have that one?
No,
I could have brought more copies, but I remember it was you that.
well, I liked it for its information and I was impressed by the number of programs and
We are live.
events and things that they have in Belfast too. You know, that's-
Is anyone joining remotely?
Not to my knowledge, I didn't get notifications from anyone that they needed to zoom in today,
All right.
so.
Cool. We'll get started. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Perfect. We have a new member. So I'd love to go around and have everybody introduce themselves. And how about we also say your favorite color?
My favorite what?
Color.
All right.
You definitely have a favorite. All right.
Don't start with me. then.
I will start, I guess. I had a little bit of advance notice. My name's Nina. I'm the chair of the commission at the moment. I've been a member for exactly a year now. And I moved back to Bangor just a few years ago, but I did go to high school near here. And my favorite color is a like dark teal, like this petrol color. Let's go this way.
Okay, I'm Barbara McDade. I'm retired from the library. This is my second term on, the commission. On my vote, see, you went to teal. I was just gonna say blue is my favorite color. Think about all the blues.
Good morning. My name's Cal Elmore and I've been on this commission for about a year. And I taught art for a long, long time, so choosing your favorite color is a very popular question in the art room. I hate choosing favorites. But I'm gonna go with Barbara and say green for all the greens.
Hi, my name's Kelly Chanel. This is my third meeting on the committee, so I won't be the newest anymore. I was born in Bangor. I left for many years and came back here to raise my son 7 years ago. Went to music school and I'm just looking forward to doing something for myself now. So welcome. Thanks. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite color?
Oh, so yeah, I forgot the assignment. Favorite color is definitely green, but I like Kelly green.
I'm Sarah McQuillan. I'm the assistant in the Community and Economic Development Department, and part of the staff liaison team for this commission. And not to carry on with the theme, but green has always been my favorite color also, so in any shades.
Tristan Greenlaw. I've been on the commission for a few years. I forget exactly how many years now. I'm a therapist in the community. And my favorite color is, it really is green. Most of my house is green. So I'm not just going along.
I'm Laverne Stackwell. And I've been on this commission, I don't know for how many hundred years now. I am a citizen of Bangor. My career, almost if I could say, would be volunteerism. So you name it, I've done it, I think. My favorite color. I love blues. I also love pink. And if you want to know what I look like in my coffin, put me in black.
I'm Sam Scapani. I am the new person. I moved to Bangor 5 years ago to work at the Bangor Daily News, where I no longer work. But my husband is a brewer boy, so we bought a house in Bangor about a year ago. And my favorite color is also green. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm suspecting it's a product of the winter. I think that we all are thinking green.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Ann Krieg. I'm the Director of Community and Economic Development for the city and staff support to this group. And I would say I'm in the green I gravitate more towards the deeper greens, like forest green.
Same.
Hi, my name's Holly Adams and I am the vice chair of this commission. And I think it's been 2 years, but now that I think about it, I'm like, is it 3? I think it's 2 that I've been on this commission. And I'm a writer and I am an English professor at the University of Maine. And my favorite color is forest green. I was hoping to go second, so I'd be original. I feel last.
All right.
We're a pretty cohesive bunch now, right? Because even teal's kind of a green.
It's true.
And we're green.
Yeah. I appreciate you mentioning the pink for, just
A little variety.
Well, pink and now in the blues, it's more the lighter blues
Mm.
than the darker blues,
Yes.
but I do like pink. It makes me feel cheery. But I'm red. Oh, I do wear red, but.
All right. Meeting minutes. I opened up the revised agenda, so I don't.
I move the minutes be approved.
I second.
All right. Do you want me to say something else? All in favor? Okay.
That's a nice little last meeting.
Great.
They are.
Okay, yeah, I've read these.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my report, cool, so, I went to, oh, what's her name? The painter. Who has the show at the Zillman, the Linda Packard show, her opening, and it was really great, really nice to meet her.
Wasn't she glowing?
Yes.
She was just so excited.
Yes, very excited, and it was really well attended, it was really exciting, I think, for the commission to support something like that.
The paintings were gorgeous.
Yes, they were really great and really nice to support an artist doing something outside of their usual scope. We gave a grant to a local painter who has a show up at the Zillman right now, and supported that. It's really great. And then my other update is from the ad hoc events calendar committee, and we really need an acronym or shorter name. So we've met and we discussed a few different options. We had budget approved by city council last year, or this fiscal year, so last summer, for printed events calendar, just to catch it. Yep. And so now we're working with Justin Russell, who runs a digital events calendar. And Betsy is on the committee also from Downtown Bangor Partnership, because it was her idea initially, or part of her idea initially. And so we're all working together. We started pulling some cost updates because the BDN last year had estimated a person to write events and put together a calendar, which we no longer need. We now have all the events and we have all the information, and we can just create an ad in the paper. So I went and bought a paper, and was surprised at how thin it is. And so we pulled together some pricing. This is what Sarah sent around yesterday. Thank you. So, and I do have to update that. The approved budget is 65,000, not 50,000. The BDN has offered us a significantly decreased ad pricing if we can commit to spending 25,000 for the year. And so I brought the paper just to kind of discuss a couple of options with you all, but I think we'll need another ad hoc meeting because there's a few other pieces we want to talk about. But just kind of a couple of options as a really brief overview. Is a quarter-page ad, and they would try to put it in the section that is relevant. So the state, or if there's a local one, a local one. Quarter page is just about this much, a little taller than this ad. And a half-page ad is half page. So both are quite large options. A quarter-page ad, as you can see the numbers in front of you, is 15,000 for the full year. And that's a weekly, it runs every Thursday. And we would, with additional budget, have both Justin and someone else, pull new events each week so that it has a selection of maybe 8 or so events that are coming up in the next week, printed in the paper each week, and then a link to the Bangor Sevens calendar where people can see all the events that are on that calendar, and they can also sign up for emails to get their own weekly in their inboxes of events they're interested in. You can categorize all kinds of cool things. We can also, within the 25,000, run digital ads. So on their webpage, there would be a banner that clicks to Bangor Sevens. And that's significantly cheaper. So we could do 10 months of an ad there. And then we can also include, they have the Bangor Metro that now goes not to all Bangor residents, it just goes to subscribers. But we could put an ad there, or we could sponsor the calendar that's in the June issue. And then we can also do inserts. And I left that one at home, but this paper came with a little Shaw's insert. And so we could print up 8.5 by 11 insert instead of the actual ad. May not run every week because they can only put an insert in when there's other inserts. And it's a bit more expensive to do the insert because it has to be printed separately and it has to be added to the paper as opposed to just digitally put in when it gets printed. So for about 22,000, we'd have to spend a bit more. So we'd have to probably do more digital ads or more something else with the BDN. We could do the quarter page ad, or for about 25, 26, we could do the half page. And then maybe one insert that announces it so that it's a little bit more obvious. Each of those still only spend 25,000 of our $65,000 budget. So what we're also getting cost on is printing a postcard or a few postcards from Print Bangor and sending them to all Bangor residents with an announcement that we're gonna print ads in the paper with these calendars and links to Bangor Sevens so that you can sign up for your own. And then, like I said, we're getting a quote from Justin to see how much time or how much money he would charge for putting this together each week. He'd have to kind of send someone the information for all the weekly ads, probably take half an hour to an hour of his time every week. And then we'd need someone to design a template for the ad and then also put in the information each week and kind of get it print ready. Which also probably, depending on who does it, is maybe it's a few hours to do a template and have the commission approve it and kind of run through a couple of reviews. And then maybe half an hour each week to get the file print ready. So we're not quite ready to run forward, but I did want to run these kind of cost ideas by everybody. I think one of my concerns with just doing the ad is that subscribers are, not everybody gets the paper, of course. Currently about 6,000 people get the Saturday paper and about 5,500 get the weekly in kind of Bangor metro area. And that includes the surrounding towns all the way to Winterport or Orono, that area. And I think there's just over 30,000 people that live in Bangor. So a postcard would reach more people, or multiple postcards would reach more people. So once we see the pricing from what it costs to send a postcard to 30,000 Bangor residents, we can see if maybe we do that monthly for a little while and kind of get more people to subscribe to the digital calendar. The whole goal of this project is to have something printed and to reach more people and to tell them what's happening in Bangor that's really cool. And so this is sort of a in between. We've got a couple of different approaches that we're considering. Any questions, thoughts, ideas?
I will make a comment.
Yes.
I know several people that do the quarter page,
Yeah.
and they do find it's been very effective for them.
Okay.
That's businesses
Yeah.
more than, because I haven't seen many that of this type.
Yeah. and I looked through, I mean, this is just yesterday's paper, but there are quite a few quarter page or smaller ads. Like this is a quarter page. I didn't see any half page ads, but they did say they would fit it where it makes sense and I mean, since we have the budget, maybe a half page makes sense to consider. Significantly easier and cheaper to print an ad right in the paper than it is to do the insert. Also from a file prep and deadline perspective.
And I will tell you, I just take when I get the paper, I take the inserts and
Yeah.
put them in recycle
Right.
right away.
Whereas if you have a colorful ad in the paper, you're much more likely to notice it, especially given that we can print in color and all the actual paper content is black and white. So aside from the weather, I think if we use some really bright, cool colors, it would really stand out and people would notice it, especially if they also got a postcard that says, hey, this is coming up, pay attention. Other,
Yeah, I was just curious, would that also be online for the newspaper online? Would the ad show up online as
yeah,
well?
so the banner ad would show up and the banner ad is actually quite cheap, so we could easily do that for the rest of the year. It's about $350 per month and they don't really count per month, they count per clicks, and so it's a little
Okay.
not even, but it's about $3,500 for the rest of the year from March, so 10 months.
Mhm.
And we could, the cool thing about the digital ads is also, right, it's a banner, so it shows up on some of the pages, or maybe all of the pages, for local people, so we can target it quite well. It's not just anybody who visits the BDN website, it's people who live in the Bangor metro area. And then it also, they will provide analytics for us. So we could switch out the ad copy or the graphic every so often, because we can look at who clicks, how many clicks are there? Where do the people live that click through? And there's ways to drill down more deeply into the analytics. So that gives us some really interesting information, hopefully. And then we should be able to see on Justin's analytics side who clicks through from the paper and who signs up for his emails, which could also be really helpful. Kind of target the ad copy that way.
Would the city have any resources for graphic design for the postcards or for the ad itself?
Yeah, we do, actually. Our communications person that's in the manager's office has good graphic skills.
We
Yeah.
do that. We can also, I'm a designer.
Yeah.
There we go.
I do wanted to talk about whether there's a conflict of interest. If I can't volunteer my time, I can't volunteer each week for a year to do this, but I have good rates. But I don't know if there's a conflict of interest, me being chair.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I also I had a question about needing an RFP. So do we need an RFP from Justin? That whole process, or can we just hire him to do his piece because he's the one who's got the information?
Right. And something Betsy said when we met was that there's a threshold
Yeah.
to needing an RFP,
Right.
like it's a certain dollar amount,
Yep.
which she didn't know, but she thought Justin would not reach that
Right.
in any way.
So-
Right, I think it recently got changed to 25,000 from 10, so.
I'm sure.
I
I'll be under
can't,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a question about like just the time and the work, like who's doing this? So like, is it just Justin to the BDN, or does it go Justin, us, BDN? And like, if that's every week, I mean, we're volunteers.
Yeah.
We're busy, we're not meeting weekly, like,
Yeah.
is there gonna have to be somebody who's like, I'm gonna volunteer an hour of my time every single week to like get this thing from Justin, check it, put it in the template, and then deliver it to the BDN? Like, I
That would be
worry.
the designer. Yeah, it would have
Okay.
to be the designer or someone who knows how to prepare a file for print. And so, right, it's a bit of time. It's a little more than I think a volunteer we could expect from a volunteer. But right, if the city has someone, or if we can hire someone, I mean, there's other designers in the Bangor area that might be interested in a job like this. Overall, it's a pretty small job, but
Right, but
It's
Justin
more
has a
volunteer.
design firm as well, doesn't he?
He
Isn't
does,
that
yeah.
like 1010 digital, like
110 digital, yeah,
110, sorry.
yes. I don't know how much design he does
Okay.
versus development coding,
Gotcha.
but we can talk to him about that.
And how are the events chosen? Just what comes into him?
Yeah, he on his own collects all kinds of events. He
Okay.
goes out and searches for what's happening in town, but people can also, or organizations can submit to his website too.
Okay, good.
And so it's grown quite a bit since he started it last summer.
Yeah.
And you can see all kinds of categories of events. And they
Nice.
are within about 20-30 minutes of Bangor. So it's not just Bangor proper, but it's
Mhm.
things that Bangor residents and people who work in Bangor would attend.
Right.
Mine quit coming.
Sorry?
I signed up whenever he came.
Oh.
I signed up for it, but I haven't gotten it in the last couple weeks.
Oh, weird.
I got mine
I
on
got mine.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Check your spam filters.
Yeah, I was gonna say your email probably.
Because he would only hold the arts and culture events, because his like also has sports and
Right.
commerce and.
Yeah, so I think we as a commission could decide which categories would end up in the print ad. And it generally, there's some weeks, there's only 8 things happening, some weeks there's more than that, so we could kind of have a highlights and it would be clear in the ad copy that this is not everything that's happening, this is a
Mhm.
selection of highlights.
Mhm.
Relevant, and I think we'd have some indication on the ad that this is coming through the cultural commission.
Got it.
I don't know legally what else we'd have to put on there, whether it's supported by city council or something else. Without
Right,
like-
and could we like say when grants application deadline is coming up, is that something we could put in our ad?
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
To like use that for, or if
Yes.
October is coming up or whatever,
Right.
like we also use it
definitely.
that way.
And I think the little badge of like, the city of Bangor and cultural commission should
Right.
be on
Yeah.
that ad,
Yes.
and that way.
And a
we can
link to
utilize
our website, which may one day be
Maybe.
Yeah.
Great.
more user friendly.
Mhm.
I love the idea and like, I think it's great that it would be in print and the original, like the original idea didn't come from Betsy. It came from two community members who were elderly and did not use social media and were missing events
Right.
and their ideal place for it was the paper because they felt like their demographic
Right.
was the demographic to subscribe and check the paper for arts
Right.
listings and they
Yes.
would not see anything, or they would just see a write-up of it after the fact.
Right.
Right, and so their ideal was the paper, so if we can have it in the paper at a cost that I think is way cheaper than what the BDN quoted us when they would do all of it.
Right.
Seems like a win.
I think that from what I can tell, the pricing seems really reasonable. What they've offered us. It's 70% off of the regular print ad price. And then 35% off of the digital ad price. And we'd still get all the benefits and. Yeah, right. I mean, my one concern is that the subscriber numbers are fairly low, and so we're not reaching all Bangor residents, but I think with the budget that we have, we can use part of it for the ad in the BDN, and that reaches a lot of Bangor residents, and especially in that demographic.
Mhm.
And then if we can look at the postcards or something else.
Right, it'd be great if like, if hotels, for instance, cut it out, put it on their
Yeah.
board each week, or
Mhm.
like, if they had a little, one of those little, what are they, like plastic
Oh,
things that you
yeah,
stick
the
in, like display.
Yeah, that's true. Right, and we could also reach out to all the local organizations and places that will get a paper anyway, like hotels and like assisted living residences. And ask them to do that. Just say, hey, this is.
And I also
this is
think
coming.
in places like that, there are several papers around that multiple people read.
Yeah.
So there's more
That's true.
dispersal of information than you might think
Mhm.
that way.
Is that 6,000 subscriber number, is that just paper or is that digital and paper?
That's just paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's probably some more that
Yes.
would be digital. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. The second thing too is that there's a lot of group homes and providers that they want activities to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of them that would benefit from having like a little, here's what's going on.
Right, and you're right, they probably get a few papers, but they have significantly more people that read those few papers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I thought about, is, in the, mail every week, I end up throwing it out too, but we get that free paper, it's once a week
Yes.
in the mail. Bangor residents, I know I get it every week, and it's got like the Hannaford ad and the Shaw's ad in it. That's something that everybody gets and it's free, comes in the mail every week.
Right.
I don't know if we could put one in there, but that's something that people that, even people that couldn't afford to subscribe to the paper would get that. If it's a postcard in there,
Yeah.
an insert in there, but that's something that comes every week in
I
the mail.
thought they were stopping the actual paper part of that,
I'm not sure.
because I've
I got mine
gotten,
last week. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely got it and I threw it out, but I'm saying like, for people that don't have access or
Yes.
can't, or lower income as residents that don't have.
Right.
The means to subscribe, like that might be another
Yeah.
option. I just thought of that when somebody said it, they take ads out and turn them out. That's what I thought of. I was like, well, what about that thing that comes every week?
like my wood stove with it,
That's exactly what I was.
right,
But I like the idea of also like this and maybe a monthly postcard.
Mhm.
I
Um,
really like the postcard.
Yeah.
just to say like, so if you don't get the paper, right, you're still getting the postcard to your house and it
Yeah.
says, go to Seventh, get your own calendar, supported by the CCD, here's our website.
right. And if it's monthly, it could be a size, like 6x9 is like about half of a page like this.
Mhm.
That can also have a few of the events that
events
are
of the month.
happening in the next month. So it's not just an ad of go to this website, it's
Yeah,
here's what you'll see there and here's some of the.
right, like 6 choice events for the
Exactly.
month that are
Yeah.
bigger. People put on their fridge. That's
Right.
what I would do. If
Yeah.
it was like a
Yeah.
shiny postcard in
Right.
color.
That's expensive though, I think.
Well, we're trying to
Not that
get
expensive.
pricing on that. That's what we're just pricing it with Print Bangor right now.
Yeah.
And they do the mailing as well.
Right.
And turns out we get half off postage for being a nonprofit.
Wonderful.
So that actually postage is quite affordable. And then because it's such a large number, the pricing actually is pretty decent, I would expect. We'll have to see. I mean, 30,000 is a lot, but I think within this budget, we'll be able to do it. At least.
Well, it's not gonna be 30,000 because it's,
The households, not.
yeah.
Sure.
Which is, we decided what, like 14, 15? Something like
Yeah.
that. Right. That's still, it's a bulk order, and so the pricing we can adjust. So we will report back next month.
Yeah, so we're having another meeting. So if there's
Yes.
anything that any other commissioner wants us to take to this meeting with Justin, Betsy, or if you want to join us, I mean, you're
Yes.
all welcome. But if there's anything you'd like us to ask or report,
Yeah.
let us know.
My question is, when you're reading this, all Bangor residents, I presume you're doing one per address.
Yeah.
Now, what would you, and it would be, you wouldn't use my name, you get all kinds of tremendous amount of mail,
Yes.
all current residents.
Yep.
Well, you can't go through and pull the postal name of everybody printing because that's,
No, it's basically what any political parties do when they do mailings. It goes to our neighbor and it's all the addresses in Bangor. That list exists, it's public.
but then you get into, let's say, 72nd Street, apartment A, apartment B, apartment C.
Yeah.
Would you be doing one A, B, C?
Yeah. It's everybody, every residence in Bangor. That we don't have to manually pull all of those. That is a mailing list that exists in the city, and I don't know, Print Bangor knows how to do that for us.
Yeah.
But right, each apartment would get one.
I just ask it.
Yeah. All right. If you just let me know if you're interested in joining that committee, if you can let me know by the end of the meeting, then I'll make sure that you're on the invite for the next committee meeting. Financial report. And next. Are there any questions on the financial report?
Where's the financial report live? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's in the meeting packet that Sarah sent, not
first
the
one, not the
updated
revised,
one, it's the. it's
Oh, the
first.
original one.
Yes,
Gotcha.
So Chris Packard was paid out.
great.
And that was a little bit less than the 1,000, so you have like a little more money.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. The 820, that's still a good amount that you
Yeah.
got.
Yep.
Great. Okay, so 7,179.60 is what we have left for the year, so really that's what we have for spring grants. Great. Any questions? I don't think I can motion, right?
You can call for it.
Can I call for a
And you
motion?
can second it.
I motion to approve the financial report.
I'll second.
Great, thank you. Eventually I'll catch up to this. Okay, committee reports. So just for Sam, a quick overview, we have 3 standing regular committees. We have the grant committee, cultural asset committee, and the October committee. Every commissioner is required to join a committee. You don't have to join one today,
Okay.
but in the next month or so.
Got it.
You can pick one that sounds interesting to you. So, and then each
Should
chair.
we say what they are when we give the
Yes,
reports?
I think let's do that. Great. So each committee has a chair,
Okay.
and so they will speak now.
Sure. So I'm the chair of the grant committee. So we have 2 grant cycles per year, one in the fall and one in the spring. So our spring one, the due date is April 1st. An individual artist or an institution can apply. And you apply through the Bangor city's website, and we have guidelines there and instructions for how to apply. The grants committee meets first when we get the applications to go through them, make sure everybody is eligible, see if we need more information. And then the ones that are eligible go to the full committee. The grants committee also has designed a rubric for assessing and evaluating those applications. And then we decide how to divvy up the money that we have from the city to go to the artists and the organizations, whether we want to fund them all or only a fraction of them. So that usually happens at our May meeting.
Yeah.
Is the April meeting.
Because they're due.
Right, they're due April
1st.
1st, and then the grants committee looks, and then they would go to the May meeting. And then it then goes to city council, right? For final approval. The grant committee has not met. I did not call a meeting because I was looking back through the minutes and all the work that we had done last summer. So I'm new to the grant committee. I wasn't even on it before, and now I'm the chair, but judging from the meeting minutes and also like what I remember of meetings, the grant committee did a lot of work on updating the application and the guidelines and then brought it to the full committee. And I do remember being there when we were making like line edits and we all had it up and we came up with something that we were happy with. And it looked like we did that in July. And it seems like it then went to city council for approval,
Right.
but was not updated on the website. So when I checked the city's website, we have the 2022 application rather than the one that we updated in 2020.
I thought he updated it yesterday.
Yes, staff just got it updated yesterday.
Awesome. So I checked yesterday, like midday. So
Yeah.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So that's good to go. So I didn't think that we needed to revise something that we had already revised and we're happy with
Right.
that hadn't even seen the world yet. So, and also the rubric's been updated as
Yes.
well. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think this committee needs to meet until we get those applications, unless we want to meet in March just to talk about how to get this out, like how to publicize, advertise, our, the fact that we give these grants and that the deadline is upcoming. So maybe we want to meet to talk about that, but I think until we get the applications, I don't see us needing to meet. So So now it's updated. Amazing. Great. Okay, so happy with that. So I think that's my report.
Cultural assets.
Okay, so we haven't met for a little bit. I'm still right now, well, I'll give you an overview of assets. So the cultural assets subcommittee is, we oversee these things called story maps, which are these interesting little one-page things that have pictures and information about.
I've seen them on the
Bangor.
website.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the process of updating some of those. We also maintain a list of all the cultural monuments and assets around Bangor. The condition that they're in, where they're at, and there's a map that shows where they all are. One of our overviews is to try to get people in the community to kind of connect with the map in a way where they can, you know, look at a map and say, oh, there's a cool thing that I didn't know existed there. And so right now we're trying to get, we're working with the ArcGIS person here in City Hall to update those and also to possibly utilize, I've said this about three different meetings that they have semi websites that we could set up for the asset maps. So we're still kind of working on that too. That's also my report, so not too much to report on, but we'll probably be meeting in the next month or two once I get more information from William Harper about how to update that stuff.
Great. October has also not met. Every October, we celebrate arts in Bangor with a month-long celebration. And so from our purview, as part of that, we have usually a kind of big celebration and we give out the Bangor Arts Award, which comes with $1,000 for the artist. This past year, it was Rebecca Krupke, thank you, who runs Top of the Nine downtown. Cool. She got the award. The year before that, it was, brain just blanked completely.
Oh, the rock shop.
Annette
Yeah,
Pond.
Annette, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And so those are the only two we've given so far, but that's part of what we do. And so part of the commission will also pull together some jurors for this year's Bangor Arts Award. And then people can apply or nominate someone for that award. The celebration this past October was not that well attended. So the October committee is thinking about alternative options, and of how best to get people excited about art in Bangor in October. And so we haven't met yet, but we will meet at some point this spring, so that we're not waiting until summer to kind of figure out what we're gonna do in the fall if we're gonna change things. And then we also have printed flyers and maps of all the events that happen in October, to be given away at different businesses, as well as the Sidewalk Art Festival that happens in October, which is not run by us. That's a Downtown Bangor partnership thing.
I remember that last year.
Yeah. But yeah, I know last year was a bit of a confluence of a few different not great things.
Hurricane during the
There's a
Sidewalk Art
hurricane during
Festival.
Sidewalk Art Festival, so the dates on our flyers were wrong because they had to move it and just lots of things. So we will meet at some point and we'll see if a big celebration makes sense, if a performance event makes sense, or if it's a smaller award ceremony, or if we maybe want to table at the Sidewalk Art Festival and kind of do something with that. So open to lots of ideas if anybody wants to join the committee. I think we'll probably maybe meet in March or April, and probably not in February.
Does October have its own budget or is that part of the 7,000?
Part of next year's budget. Because the 7,000 go until June 30th, that's this fiscal year. And the budget is a point later on our agenda. All right, any questions about committees?
I'm just curious, as I'm thinking of which one to join, are there any that like are thinner than others that like could use more support?
Good question.
I know the assets committee, I think we're 3 people, maybe 4.
Okay.
Did Debbie?
I
Paper
think,
notes?
and I've never been on grants, so I don't know how, I have no authority to say this, but I don't think we need a huge committee to like do the work that the grants committee requires.
Yeah.
October always needs.
I think October is the
help.
one that needs the most.
Okay.
Help and could use the most ideas
Okay.
from
Okay.
everybody.
Cool.
I agree with that. Keep that in mind.
You're so inspired, you could do two.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been on three.
You can do them all if you
You
want.
could, yes.
Okay.
So the whole commission meets once a month.
Right.
And then some months, some of the committees also meet once a month. So like on the in-between every other week, sort of like about once a month. But really grants meets maybe right in the month.
3 or 4 times a year.
Right. It's not actually every month.
Right.
October meets a bit more
Leading up
as
to
it
October.
ramps
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's
Assets
pretty,
sometimes doesn't meet at all.
yeah, exactly.
Because there's no, right, so it's not exactly, it's not like you'll end up having a meeting every
Right,
other week
yeah,
or every
we need
week.
more
if you
additional
join two
meetings.
of the
Okay.
Committees.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind. And when would I need to like, is there like a process of joining or do I just say I'm gonna be on this committee? Okay, cool.
Say which one you want to be.
All right, I'll figure out it.
That way the chair of the committee knows that to include you in the scheduled meetings.
And I'm still seeing the
Are you on
whole
October?
application on the website.
Oh, because we got a note saying that it
Yeah.
had been updated.
When I just checked it, it was the 2023 one.
Okay, maybe I just have to hit refresh. I just had to hit refresh.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Still there.
Okay, good.
I just want to make sure there wasn't like a second link or something still going to the old one. So
Okay,
Right.
wonderful,
We're
thank
good.
you.
All right.
Just
Next,
a thought,
yes.
I'm sorry, because I'm on assets committee. The map that we have, with everything in Bangor that people can go see, would there be a time, that we could put that in our ad in the paper?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
that's a great
yeah.
idea.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. we could totally turn that into something that looks
yeah,
attractive, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like,
That could even be a half-page ad. I don't know if there's like an option to like up the ad by for like 1 month, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or I was thinking like when new art projects are unveiled, like the
Yeah.
ground mural that's coming.
Yes.
Right.
With like,
We
so I
could
like
make
Sam's
bigger.
idea of like, whenever there's something,
Mhm.
or October or whatever, it becomes a half page.
Yeah.
Cause we have to increase the budget and like we have to give them more.
Yeah, if we
To get
just
the
do the
discount.
quarter ad for the year, we're not spending enough money. So we have to do more than that.
So will they let us, at sometimes do a larger?
I don't know, I'd have to ask. But we could also just do a half of that, and sometimes it's just the calendar, and sometimes it's calendar and something else.
It seems like a pretty small increase comparatively to go from the quarter to the half, so.
Yeah.
Right,
I would think it would be a good idea to maybe publish it around October and sort of fold it into the whole October idea.
the story stroll you mean?
Yeah.
or at the start of summer, oh, what are you gonna do with the kids? Well,
Right. Right, I mean, we can also talk about the map more than once.
Mhm.
In the ad. Great.
Has map been updated?
A couple of years ago, we went through and updated all the stuff. So it's updated as of 2021, something like that. So
so we would
it's,
still have to put, is the canoe on there?
there are a few things that are not on there, yeah. Yeah, and that's another one of those, like, I have the information, but there's an editing barrier here that I'm still not getting information back, which I need help actually talking to William about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get that.
All right. We have, our next point is to elect a Downtown Bangor Partnership Liaison. So the Downtown Bangor Partnership meets once a month on the second Tuesday. It's in the morning. I think she said
8:30.
8:30 to 10. It's an hour and a half. At the library. And we don't currently have a liaison. We missed this a few months ago, but we need someone from our commission to join those meetings. they are a great resource. They're a great partnership for us to work with. So is there someone who would like to volunteer?
Would you like to be?
What morning is it?
It's Tuesday morning.
mornings?
Yeah. If Tuesday mornings are tough for people who work.
I can do Tuesday.
Yeah, okay, it's once a month,
Mhm.
the second Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. I nominate. Okay, can I nominate?
No,
I nominate Kelly.
I second.
All in favor? All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
myself
Kelly.
into-
I feel like they'd be interesting meeting
I bet they would be.
and good for us to know what
What
is going
happens.
on. Yeah.
That's what's
Yes.
important,
Mhm.
Yeah,
is the communication.
yeah. And there's quite a few representatives of local businesses who are on this partnership too, who go to those meetings. So,
It's the second Tuesday.
Yes.
8:30. So next
Is
week.
Betsy still?
Yep,
She's a dynamic one.
yes, she is.
She was with the city, wasn't she?
Yeah, now they are on their own as a,
Yeah.
their own, yeah.
And how do we get Kelly invited to those meetings?
I did a note to self to email Betsy.
Great, thank
So, yeah.
All right. Staff updates.
Yeah, speaking of Betsy, Betsy is working on, an under the bridge art project under the Union Street Bridge. What we find is a lot of people that are, visiting the downtown area, whether they're coming in off a cruise ship or they're just downtown trying to walk over to the waterfront, there sort of is that dead space that they go through under the bridge. And other cities around the country and in Canada have been sort of using that space and to celebrate it and to create a space there with lights and, on the ground murals, just something to kind of make that space a little more welcoming. So this is a project that she's been working on, and just wanted to let the commission know that that's out there. And as we get more details, we'll bring it back to your next meeting probably, as we fine tune some of the details. But yeah, it's a cool project,
Yeah.
so. And then I wanted to, yeah,
In Seattle.
what's that?
Let's see if we get our own troll like the one in Seattle.
That'd be great.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. And then I wanted to talk to you about the budget for next year. It's almost time for departments to start pulling together our budgets. And starting the budget process more formally happens in March, April, but we try to get them ready in February. So some things, I thought about is, when you were talking about trying to get more people, to go to your October event, maybe there's a way to ask for an increase to the October fund so that, you could have more money for an event type of thing. So that's one thought. One thing that the city manager asked me to bring to you is, do you want to sponsor a public art piece next year? There's been some positive feedback from counselors about the public art piece that was done last year on the waterfront, and, to do another one, it doesn't have to be on the waterfront, it can be downtown. Part of the process would be locating where it would go, so you don't have to decide that at this time, but, to think about, do you want to sponsor another public art piece?
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I noticed that booklet that's going around. Is that something, that you want to think about doing to have?
This is
for
great.
That is, that is,
Visitors,
done by, it's out of Waterville.
Right.
yeah,
And
This is.
uh,
Really?
I work for Maine Tourism Association in the information centers, and I worked yesterday. And I saw the new one had come in. It's a quarterly. I think it's quarterly.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic piece. I don't know. What's on the back? Who is it that does it?
The Waterville Creates.
Yes,
Yeah, they have a bunch of people that pull that
And
together.
it
Opera
has
has
tremendous
some-
ads in there, yes,
Right.
but it has a great calendar.
And businesses put ads.
I
in
can
that
pick up more
page for
when I
it.
go back to, I'm working tomorrow. and-
Yeah, it feels like that is something that needs staff, like a tourism board,
Yeah,
and then like
Yeah.
yeah,
full-time staff. Like, I just don't feel like that's a volunteer
No,
project.
that's a big.
yeah, that's a bigger,
Cause that's designed, someone puts it all together, someone collects all the
Ads.
information, someone collects all the ads.
Getting payment for
And
the ads,
does
yeah.
the sponsorship.
yeah.
And then
deal.
distribution, like, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine.
It's really cool and I think it would be really fun. But maybe that's a project that we can help the Downtown Member Partnership do.
Mhm.
It's something that, right, it needs staff.
Mhm. Yeah, and when, because downtown has a booklet that they do.
Yeah.
And maybe, that's something, Kelly as the liaison could sort of try to say, hey, let's beef up the arts
Yeah.
section of
Right.
that.
And maybe this is something our current calendar projects can work toward.
Right,
Yeah, this was like an evolution of that.
Right, keep
Yeah.
as inspiration. And we start with the ad and the postcards and kind of. Maybe that's a longer term
So I'm
goal.
gonna ask a question right now.
Okay,
How many copies would somebody, who else would like a copy? Would you want one? Or
yes, please.
what's your house number?
30.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
so you don't necessarily have to give me numbers today, but, definitely at the March meeting, we should confirm what the requests are, so I can make sure they go in.
So as a reminder, last year's budget was 20,000, as we saw in the financial stock. The year before that was 25 because we had gotten 5 extra for October that had been.
And so then this year they declined our request for
Yes.
the 5?
We had
So I'm
requested
just
the 20.
Curious,
So
like,
I
if
moved
we
over.
ask for more, like, are we
Well,
not
we
gonna
asked
get
for
it?
$5,000 more because of COVID, and this was the first
Oh.
time that people would be outside, so they
Okay.
granted the $5,000 because of
So-
after.
Yeah, so last year, we still were like, can we have 5,000 for
Right,
October?
we
And that
used
was,
marketing funds and the
Declined.
ED fund to help fund
Okay.
October this year.
Would they need more justification if we were to ask for more?
Yeah.
It's always best to itemize exactly what it's going for, yeah.
okay. 'Cause it'd be nice to at least, I mean, maybe we don't ask for 5, I mean, if that's gonna get declined, but it'd be nice to say, 1,000 is gonna go to the Bangor Arts Award. Like, we've had good success with that.
Yeah.
And
would like
we need
2,000.
2,000 for the celebration, it's
Yes.
open to the public.
Yeah.
And so we asked for 3 and itemize it.
Yeah,
How do we,
I mean, it doesn't have to go too deep on your itemizing, it could be 1,000 marketing, 2,000 event, 1,000 award,
okay,
just so that it's general to understand where the money goes, not specifically to what vendor, what.
Yeah.
And we'd be reapplying for money for the calendar project again.
Right,
right, I wanted to ask that too, yeah.
right.
And that's a separate,
And now, yeah, and this year you've got more specifics to itemize, so, which I think, helps the request for sure.
so would you like us to create a
Yeah,
budget
just that.
document of all of
Yeah.
that information?
Yeah,
2
and
separate
we can
pieces for
do
the
that at the
calendar.
March meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I
just
can
kind of
do that.
have it ready to, yeah.
Yeah,
So you had mentioned sponsoring an art project,
Yeah.
a community art project, so that would have to go in the budget item.
As a separate, yeah, as a request, yeah.
and the canoe was, 10,000 was donated, and did we give 10,000 for this, the commission city? To
I'd
pay
have
for that,
not
because that was
sure.
part of I think it was
I
part of
thought
a
it was
percent
all
for art.
donated.
Was it all
Yeah, it
donated
was
and
all
we just
donated,
helped?
we didn't.
We didn't give any money.
We were
Right.
just in charge of like selecting
The
the
person,
proposal
okay.
and the person.
Because that was sort of part of the renovation of that.
Right, of
That
that,
area,
of
building.
that area,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
But I think because it was so well received and so successful, that
There's potential.
we've been asked at a staff level to consider, you know, another public art piece and
And
we'll
have
work that
any
through this group.
budget amounts been discussed?
I don't know, and I guess that's, you know, from your work in the arts community, like what would be a reasonable number? I mean, we can do some research too, but if you have an understanding of what we should budget, that's always helpful.
And were any sort of ideas of what type of public art discussed? Like, are they looking for more sculptures? or
Yeah, I
something
think
more
that
like
was-
the canoe or more, because we have a lot of murals and there are more murals
Coming,
happening.
And
right.
Bangor Beautiful seems to like
Yeah,
be on it, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah,
Murals,
it is.
great.
Yeah.
So I think
So,
this is more
more
like
sculptural.
sculpture,
Okay.
yeah. And like I say, the exact location, you don't have to decide that for a budget request,
Okay.
but that would be part of the process.
All right, everybody think
Well, the
about
canoe
ideas.
came about because of Stan McMillan giving,
Right,
to make that tower look better.
yeah,
Right, was that 10,000 or 15,000?
it was 10, I think.
10?
I thought it was 10, but.
10 sounds like a good amount.
Let's
That
see.
someone should do, but it
Right.
depends a lot on what it is and where.
Well, I
it's
think
being
you
and what the
could say,
materials
we
are.
have 10,
Yeah,
submit your proposals
Ideas.
for what you
Yeah,
can
what
do
can we
with
do?
10,000, and then
Yeah.
that, like, the budget sets what
Right.
the piece will end up
Yeah.
being.
Okay,
Well, we still have that space.
and if someone else wanted to,
Where we removed
I
the
was just gonna
garage.
say,
the what? Sorry?
We had there was a space along the waterfront that there was a statue, celebrating the Portuguese, landing in Bangor.
well,
And we removed that,
correct.
because of, you know, they were not the first people here. So we still have that spot.
Okay.
And it is part of that
Oh,
dead space leading up
It
to the
is,
bridge too.
yes,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
Very
great.
interesting.
And that is, of course, at the Historical Society.
Yes,
And we could potentially work with a local organization if they wanted to match our budget. So say the Wabanaki
That's what
Cultural
I was
Center,
right,
thinking.
that's right.
if they give 10 and we give 10
right.
and
They
we
seem
can-
to have donors, so they would, right, they would like approach
Right,
their
exactly,
donors, but they also, they were talking about all the staff artists. that have.
right,
It'd be great to replace
right?
a Portuguese
Well, that's.
With-
colonial monument with a Wabanaki.
Yes.
I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with those windows.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also very
But-
excited about the
but-
mural. So that could be something that we could keep talking about.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay, good.
cool.
Excellent. Thank
And then my other budget question was about the 65,000 for this calendar project. Does that need to be all spent this fiscal year? Do we need to start that project this fiscal year? If we don't spend all of it, do we have to give it back? Can any of it carry over?
We can, do a request. It's just it's a little process to
Okay.
request for carryover, but yeah, you can carry over.
Okay, and then we'll request.
Yeah.
Great, something for next year. And
Absolutely.
yeah, how can we can talk about that?
Okay.
All right. Cool,
Yeah.
9:29.
Oh, wow.
About 5 minutes ago, I wasn't sure we were gonna make it. I move to adjourn.
yeah.
I think you can just
You
call
can
it.
just adjourn.
Yeah,
We adjourn. Until next
great
month.
job, Nina.
Thank you.
Power.
Um,